welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic. Now, as you can see and quite probably hear, the sort of end of lockdown in the UK has meant that I have come back to my London flat, and I have to apologise to Pablo Moon, a sound engineer who sent us a wonderful document explaining most of the problems with our sound and how to fix them. The reason I'm apologising is because what he basically wants is that we put up soft coverings to improve the sound quality, and I've only just got back to the fact that I haven't done that. So hopefully that will improve over time. I live in a box of parallel walls, which is apparently the worst possible sound studio area. So we'll see how we get on. Hopefully you'll notice some improvement over time and just put up with it as it gets better. Now, all of that said, at least we are still doing 2 videos a day for now. That may change as holidays and other commitments kick in. But anyway, for now, fine. Now, this puzzle has been sent in by Phoenix0589. It was tested on the Discord server, link below the video, by at least a couple of people who said it's a good puzzle and certainly unique. So I'm going to give it a crack. It's a combination little killer and sandwich puzzle. So the clues outside the grid are either sandwich clues when they're kind of written without arrows. So this 35 indicates that the digits sandwiched between the 1 and the 9 in this column add up to 35. This 11 means that in this column the sandwich sum between the 1 and the 9 is 11. Now on the arrows are some numbers and actually some letters. So an ordinary arrow clue that is a little killer clue here, 30, indicates that the sum of this diagonal that it's pointing to is 13. So that applies fine for all of the ones with numbers. Now there are 2 with letters and a letter in the grid. Now what they are saying, look, we've got a little calculation down here. A, which is the sum of those 6, plus B, which is the sum of those 4, minus C, which is kind of the cell where they overlap, equals 37. Okay, that's a pretty surprising clue, but that's what it is. And I think this came to us under the title of Poison Sandwich. I don't know why. I probably won't know why at the end. So if I find out there's a particular reason, I'll put that in the description field. So feel free to have a go on the link below the video. As always, little killer sandwich combination from Phoenix0589. Let's get cracking. So some of the sandwich clues are missing, if you like. So this row doesn't have one, for instance, but I can immediately see what that row and that row's sandwich clues should actually be. And that's because these 35s in the ends are very useful. They basically allow us to place the 1 and 9 in those columns immediately, because the numbers 2 to 8 add up to 35, which I know from doing sandwiches in the past. That means that the top row and bottom row, if they had a sandwich clue, would both be 35 as well. And the clues next to them, are, yeah, these are very deliberately huge numbers. 29 has to have 6 outside the sandwich. And look, the 1 and 9, now I'll start colouring actually. Let's put the 1s and 9s in red and non-1s and 9s in green. Now I know red-green colour blindness is a thing, but even people who are red-green colourblind say they can distinguish the red and green on ours. It's yellow and green they have a problem with in our colours apparently. So I can do exactly the same here actually. They're all red and they're all 1 and 9, and that's because now that these are green, the maximum number of cells outside a sandwich total of 29 or 30 is 2. In fact, outside the 30s, they have to be 2 and 3 to make the 5 of the 35 that aren't in the sandwich. Outside the 29s, they have to be 2 and 4. So we've got more cells we can colour green. And in fact, the corner boxes all have 2 reds in, which is the maximum. So they're green. So we've got this pattern now. Very nice. And look at these 0 clues. Yes. In all of columns 3 and 7 and rows 3 and 7, we have 0 clues. And that means the 1 and the 9 have to be next to each other. So one of them is going to have to be in the central cell of each of those. The other, don't know, if it was here, because of the 0 clue in column 4, there'd be 1 there. Not so sure here. Oh, hang on though, this 11 sandwich clue, remember, 3 digits, so it's either 2, 3, 6 or 2, 4, 5, must have a 2 in it. Yes, and that means this 7 clue in row 4 cannot be a single digit. So we could have red there, red there, red there. Then would have to be red here, and red here. But actually it's equally possible over here. Now because of the 7, that would send it out to there. This must now be, oh I see, we have these 2 identical but opposite patterns of possible red cells. Okay, surprising and clever, but I don't know how to fix it. Oh look, this 13 clue, that is fixing whether this is 1 or 9. So we're going to get an actual number in the grid, hurrah. That can't be 9 because it would have to be surrounded by 3 and 1, and if that was 9, this would be 1. So this must be a 1. So that fixes all of these outside red cells that we've done so far. Just like that. Actually, the 2s form an X-wing, don't they? Then, yeah, I mean, wherever the 2s are, we've used up all the 2s in rows 1, 2, 8 and 9, columns 1, 2, 8 and 9, and in boxes 1, 3, 7 and 9. So the other 2s have to be, yeah, obviously not in the green cells, basically in columns 3 and 7, rows 3 and 7. So the 2s must be in that pattern, either there, there, there and there, or in the white cells. And whichever way round, these 2 aren't 2. The 2 must be in the centre. How bizarre. Okay. And that's on this 37 diagonal. Now that, therefore, 10 plus 10 is 20, plus 2 is 22. Could have the 9 and 1, couldn't it? That would make 32. No, it couldn't, because the other 2 must be at a minimum 3, because we've definitely used up the 2s in the corner boxes. So the 9 and 1 can't be in those 2 positions. They must be in those 2. Wow, that is a tight bit of logic. That puts a red cell there and there, there and there. Let's fill those in with 1s and 9s. And indeed, let's take 2 out of the corner of those because it can't be there anymore. And in fact, we can put 2 into all of these ones. Whew, okay, so that was by working out what happened if 1 and 9 were up there. Now they're not. This is 7 as a sum. So it can't have a 2. It's got to be a 3-4 pair. So this is now a 5 or 6. Oh, this is an 11 as made up of 5 and 6. Because of the 11 sum, once this is 3 or 4, this has to be 5 or 6. And that means this has to be 5 or 6 to make up the 11 sum. The other two cells in the central box are 7 and 8. It's lovely how this is working, isn't it? But what next? Not the 13, I don't think. Wow, this is so strange the way this works. Ah, yes, let's go back to the 37. So 10, 22. Yeah, the minimum this can be 25, 30 would still leave another 7 here, and these can't be 2s. So they're 3 and 4 at the absolute maximum. Wow, that's so strange. And in these boxes where I've done that, they're forming 2, 3, 4 triples. So the other cells are 5, 6, 7 and 8 down here, for instance. And whichever 2 are there, they're going to have to be in these cells too, because they're ruled out of those. So they are from 5, 6, 7 and 8. Same is going to happen up here. Whichever of 5, 6, 7, 8 are there can't be in there, so they must be in here. And that means, well, anyway, they're up there. And the same, now we've got a 5, 6, 7, 8 quadruple in column 7. So this isn't 5, 6 or 7 or 8, and we know it's not 2, 1 or 9. It's got to be 3 or 4. My God, we get these quadruples everywhere. Same is true up here because we have that 5, 6, 7, 8 quadruple, so that's 3 or 4. And yes, these cannot both be 4s. Like, looking at these 4 cells, there's only 2 alternatives. Either the ones situated diagonally are 3s, and the other ones diagonally are 4s, or the other way round. You clearly can't have these be 3 and 4 because there'd be nothing for this cell. So they're the same on the diagonals, and this diagonal cannot take 2 4s. It would make it 14, 28, 30. The minimum value would be 38. So those 2 are 3s. The other 2 are 4s. That's fantastic. That's weird, but fantastic. And that doesn't allow me to decide what these are, because there's still 1 degree of freedom here. We've got 13, 26, 28, and another 9 to make up. So whichever way the 9 goes there, there's a 9 there. But these, oh yes, I mean in all these corner boxes, these 3, 2, 4 pairs are fully resolved now. How peculiar. It's a lovely pattern. It's a form of symmetry. I don't think we're looking at a fully symmetric grid or anything like that, but there is a beautiful symmetry about how the whole thing's operating. I mean, the people who say that there's no beauty in Sudoku should, well, and you wish you could make them understand this puzzle. It's incredibly tightly restricted. Now, I don't think with what we've looked at, oh wait, we can go beyond that. Let's go back to this 13 little killer clue. That's now got to be 5 and 7 to go with the 1. Excellent. So these ones are 6 and 8. Oh, is that not telling us anything? No, not really. So maybe there are other clues. Look at this 19 clue. Yes, that has got to be 5 and 6 there, hasn't it? Because these 2, look at that. This one especially. 2, 1, 9, 3, 4 are gone in this row. So the minimum that can be is 5. The minimum this can be, 1, 2 and 4 are gone. That can still be a 3. And if you add those 2, that's 8. The maximum these 2 can be is 11. And they must be, therefore, 5 and 6. That's fantastic. And we can fill in that 3 and 5. Lovely 19 clue, very nice. Oh, and look, that 5's looking there, so we get the 7. That 5's looking straight up here at the 6, 5 pair. That 6 looks down at the 8-6 pair. Ah, oh, that is elegant. Really elegant. Right, we've got, well, let's carry that around here. So these aren't 6 and 7. These aren't 5 and 8. These aren't 6 and 7. These aren't 5 and 8, but I can't go further with those yet. However, what I can do is look at these two, 4 and 6, and look, 6 is in that row already in one of that 5-6 pair. So we can put those in. 4 there, 4 there. This must be 4. So these two are 3 and 5. Yes, and they are resolved by that 5. Excellent, that's 5. So that's fixing the 8-5. Oh, it doesn't go further. How surprising. Oh, thought that was going to carry me on. So this is a 7-8 pair. That's all that's left in the box. These are from 6, 7, 8. Oh, we can place 3 in this box because 3 is restricted to those two and there. So this is 3. That's 6 or 7, and we've got this 6, 7, 8 triple. Now let's have a look at this 49 clue. Oh, this is going to probably be the way we work out which of these are 9s and 1s. Yeah, it's quite a big number. If this was a 1, this would be a 9, this would be a 1. 9, 1, this would be a 9. So we'd have 11, 18. Now the most we could achieve now, 26, 34, we could never get to 49, whatever was in here. So these two are not 1s, they are both 9s. In fact, we can put all the 9s in just like that. And the other red cells are 1s. Now let's do the addition again for this 49 sum. Right, now we've got 19 in the red, 26 with that 7. If this was as little as 5, sorry, excuse me a moment. Sorry about that. Quick glass of water later. And so we've got 18, 19, 26, at least 33, at least 38. No, that's not enough. Okay, at most, that's the way we should do it. 19, 26, 34, 42. This has to be at least 7. And this can't be a 5 now because that just wouldn't get the job done. So that's an 8. These two are 7 and 8, and they are different. That doesn't help us immediately, but that's what they are now. We've got a 5-6 pair up there. These are from 4, 7, and 8. Now I'm reluctantly coming to this a plus b minus c is 37. And I think it's probably time. Let's just fill in the possibilities here. 4, 5, 6, and 7. 3, 6, 7, and 8. So that's all the candidates. Now, what is going on with this? So a plus b minus c. And actually that just means just count the c cell once. Because a includes it, b includes it, but we subtract one of it. So all of these added up make 37. What have we got? We've got 4, 3, 2, 1, and 5 already fixed. That's 15. What's the minimum? 20, 24, 30, 36. Okay, that's the way to go, is looking at the minimums. With the minimums, 4, 5, 6, 6, there's only 1 degree of freedom. So any of those could only be 1 number bigger. So this must be 4. This one can't be 8. Yeah, 6 is the minimum. There's 1 degree of freedom. It can't be 8. And that gives us what looks like a deadly pattern up here. But of course it's not because of this particular restriction. So let's do that maths again. 10, 14, 19, Now with the minimums, 24, 30, 36, and the actual total is 37, these two have to be the same because of that pattern, and they can't therefore be the higher number because that would take more than 1 degree of freedom out of the diagonal. So they're 6s. Actually, that's a 6 as well. That's where the degree of freedom gets used. 5 there. 6, 5 is resolved here. Oh, the 3, 4 is resolved by that 4. 7, 8, yeah, can fill them in down there. 4 and 6 here, yes. 3 and 5 there. I think we're suddenly finishing off. Yes, that's a 7. That's a 7. Those were in that pattern. 8 there. That 7 and that 8. And now we have got a deadly pattern. Ah, no, but remember we said 7 and 8 have to be different in this diagonal to make 49. Let's just recheck the maths. If they're different, that's 15, 23, 32, 41, 42, 49. And we've got a 7. So that's 8, 7 there, 8 there, 7 there. Let me just do some green colouring to keep people happy. And that is a poisoned sandwich from Phoenix 0589. What a clever puzzle. I love the way that that resolved itself. I have a feeling that if you don't spot any of those steps, this one is just never going to unravel. So well done if you got through that in a handy time. I think that's not easy at all. Nice puzzle. Thank you very much for watching. As I say, do bear with me on the sound, and hope to see you again tomorrow for more Cracking the Cryptic. Bye for now.